Morning everybody, thanks for coming back to my channel. Today I'm over at my friend Kevin's house. I put a starter in this car a couple of weeks ago for him, and he says that occasionally it sounds like the starter is like grinding or making some kind of weird noise. I came over today to listen to it. Of course, it's not making any noise, typical things that happens for mechanics. It's a 2004 Honda CR-V with a K20 or K24, I believe. It is a timing chain motor. The starter is down here underneath the intake manifold, so I have to physically remove the intake manifold and the intake boot, throttle body, a couple of minor things to get to the starter. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Okay guys, small update. As you can see, I have the intake manifold removed, and there is the new remanufactured starter that I installed a couple of weeks ago. As you can see, everything looks fine. I'm still going to pull the starter all the way out and inspect the gear teeth, but the starter's not loose at all. None of the bolts are broken. The casing isn't broken in any way. So I'm just going to dig further. I just wanted to give a little update. It takes a 12 millimeter socket and a 10 millimeter socket or wrench to get most of the bolts off. It's easiest to just remove the throttle body. It's only 4 bolts with the 12 millimeter socket. It's got a bunch of, not only does it have the cables hooked up to it, but down here you can see kind of right there, there's a bunch of coolant lines that are intertwined with the throttle body. And there's no reason to worry about disconnecting those lines or dealing with them, because they're usually a pain in the butt. It's just simple to unbolt the throttle body, leave it sitting there. Now, as far as getting the intake off, you do have to take the core support off a little bit and move it forward. It is connected all the way down there with a couple of 10 millimeter bolts. It's just not worth trying to get that out when all you need to do is just take out a couple of bolts here and here. You can just pick it up and slide it forward. You take the hood locking mechanism off to give you a little bit more room, and the intake manifold just simply rotates up and stays connected by this coolant hose. Oh, that looks like it's just an air hose. I thought it was coolant, but that's just vacuum. So I wonder what that goes into. Anyways, like I was saying, super simple. You just rotate the intake manifold up out of the way. You do have to unplug this plug, which is down here, and it's kind of hard to get to from the top, so I usually just rotate the intake itself. Gives me access to the plug, unplug it, and then I can lay the intake up there like that. So now I'm going to put the video back on hyperlapse. You're going to continue to watch me get the starter all the way out, which obviously I'm only a couple of steps away from that. I'm going to do a visual inspection. Once I determine that the starter seems to be okay, or if it's not, I'll either put it back in or we'll take it in for a warranty charge. Back with another update, guys. I did pull the starter out and determine that it is grinding. Now it's going to be impossible for, well, maybe not. There you go. You can kind of see the flex plate right there. It's got fresh metal grind marks on it, which means the new remanufactured starter must be catching. Maybe the solenoid's not engaging all the way, so it's not bringing the gear, the star gear, all the way out. Excuse me. It's not bringing the gear all the way out to catch the flex plate, so it's just continuously spinning, rubbing, causing all kinds of crazy noises. So he's going to take that remanufactured starter back to the auto parts store, see if he can get another one or maybe one from a different place. In the meantime, he's asked me to replace the serpentine belt and tensioner. Now, I've never personally done one of these on one of these engines before, so it's going to be a kind of a learning experience for myself. I did bring all the correct tools, I think, to be able to do this. I know I'm going to have to undo the motor mount, jack the motor up a little bit to get access to the bolts for the tensioner, which is basically this big hunk right here that the power steering is also attached to. So it looks like I'm going to be undoing a couple of things to get the new tensioner and belt put on. Alright guys, as you can see, I successfully have the old tensioner out. It looks like it's been replaced once before. It's some type of aftermarket part. The bearing or the pulley isn't necessarily making noise, but as you can see, it's ribbed pretty well. This is the new style tensioner. It's a Litton's tensioner. Litton's is a really good brand tensioner. You can see the serpentine belt is not in the best shape either. It's not cracked. Normally when you pinch them like that, it'll show stress cracks. Obviously the back of the belt shows significant wear. It was fairly easy to get to this. I do have a jack supporting the engine. You do have to undo the motor mount bracket, which is this one right here when I'm moving. It takes 3 bolts. All I did was take 2 bolts out and loosen the bottom one and move it out of the way, because you will not get the tensioner out unless you do that. Those bolts took a 14 millimeter wrench. The nuts and the bolts for the engine mount itself took a 17 millimeter socket, and then the bolts to get the actual tensioner out were 12 millimeter. And everything's going to be pretty simple going back together. I should be done before I get another starter to get put back in, and then we'll continue with that. Alright guys, new tensioner. You can see the brand new shiny tensioner, which is all intertwined with the power steering. You have to get the power steering off, as you can see, to get to the tensioner. But new tensioner and belt are done. He brought me another manufactured starter. There's also a new intake boot in that box because his factory intake boot ripped, taking it off. Pretty common thing, I guess. So now I am going to try to position the camera a little bit better so you guys can see me installing the starter, but no promises, but that's where I'm heading next. Alright everybody, I got the car all back together completely. I haven't started it yet. You guys are going to hear it start for the first time. I did serpentine belt with tensioner. I had to do a new intake boot because the old one ripped. It must be pretty common because the other one is pretty brittle. And then I put in another remanufactured starter. Let's see how this sounds. Check to make sure that belt is doing what it's supposed to do. Nice and quiet. Okay, so I'm gonna attempt to do a few starts with this thing just to ensure that the starter that I just put in is not gonna start making noise on him. I did that to the last one. He drove around for about a week before the other starter started making noise, so I don't know if I'll get anything out of it, but I'm gonna try anyways just because. Okay, everything appears to be well this time. We'll see how long this remanufactured starter lasts. I told him that if he gets the problem persisting again, that we might just need to buy an OEM starter. That will take care of the issue 100%. You know, remanufactured starters or remanufactured parts are kind of 50-50 on longevity or whether they'll work out of the box in the first place. So it's always just recommended that you try to get OEM parts when you can. I know that they're quite expensive, but there's a reason that they're quite expensive, and there's a reason that OEM parts tend to last 200,000 miles. Thanks for watching.